Welcome, I'm Dr. Janine Bowring, naturopathic doctor, and today I'm talking about ulcerative colitis with causes and 9 natural tips to help with this naturally. So we know that ulcerative colitis causes bleeding ulcers, usually in the last part of the digestive tract, so in the rectum, but also in the colon. So if we're looking at Lucy here, the model, we can see it's usually the last part here of the digestive tract that has a lot of inflammation and ulceration. Now, some of the causes of ulcerative colitis can include absolutely the mind-body stress connection. We know that we have the gut and the brain axis, and a lot of chronic stress is definitely going to exacerbate the ulcerative colitis and that inflammation in the gut. So another causative factor is what's going on in terms of the microbes in our gut, and some of the things that will compromise our good gut flora to avoid in the diet include artificial sweeteners. So this has actually been studied in the literature that if you're using those artificial little packets or sweeteners, or maybe your food is sweetened with, the diet products that are available with these artificial sweeteners, that this can be very compromising to your probiotics, to your gut flora in your gut that's protecting you and supposedly doing its job to help to break down your food, and this will be another risk factor for that ulcerative colitis, as well as chronic use of antibiotics. So yes, antibiotics have their place, but the chronic use of antibiotics can definitely compromise, again, that diversity of those good gut bugs in the digestive tract, and can be one of those more inflammatory causative actions that can happen in terms of developing ulcerative colitis. Also, you've got to watch your food and what you're actually ingesting. So we know that certain herbicides, glyphosate being one of them, can be compromising to our good gut flora, our probiotics. So doing our best to eat organically and non-genetically modified ingredients is very important to protect our gut microflora and the health of our microbiome. Okay, so now we'll share 9 natural tips to help with ulcerative colitis. So tip number 1 is to make sure that if we do have some of these less favorable organisms in the digestive tract, one of them could be Clostridium difficile, that we're absolutely dealing with this. So I love to, even myself, do a parasite cleanse with herbal medicines at least 3 to 4 times a year as a preventative to ensure that I have that great diversity of those gut bugs. Making sure that I have enough of the good ones is tip number 2 for ulcerative colitis, is to make sure that I get enough probiotics. So whether that's probiotic foods, things like sauerkraut, kimchi, but also in terms of taking a probiotic supplement that's designed for the human digestive tract is important as well. Tip number 3 is to make sure that we've got enough DHA. So this is that important omega-3 fatty acid, which can be supplemented, but also is found in seafood and different fish species in terms of their healthy fats. And this is very anti-inflammatory. It's really important for our signaling in our cellular function. It helps to work with the sunlight, which is important for digestive health and decreasing inflammation in the body as well. Tip number 4 is to include fiber, and more specifically chitin. So chitin is found in the shells of different types of seafood. So an easy thing to do if you eat shrimp, and I encourage that you do. I know that there's a lot of controversy about eating shrimp. It's a bottom feeder. I don't believe in that personally as much as what some people will have that personal opinion about. But eating that chitin, so the actual tail of the shrimp contains this very important fiber, which helps to feed the right bacteria in the lower part of the intestines, especially for ulcerative colitis. And this is something that you can actually look up. It has been studied in the literature to be very helpful for these inflammatory gut conditions like ulcerative colitis. Tip number 5 is to incorporate more grass-fed products. So if you are not a vegetarian, If you're eating beef products and butter and dairy products, it should always be grass-fed. And that's because the grass-fed, it always depends on what the animal ate, not so much the animal that you're eating, but what that animal ate. And grass-fed is definitely better. This is helping with our butyric acid, and that's important in the large intestine to help with our proper bowel function. Tip number 6 is to use a castor oil pack. So this is something that I share in another video. You can look it up as to how exactly to do the castor oil pack, but not only is it very soothing for the digestive tract when you do have pain and inflammation, but it also helps the gut, which is important for our immune function in the digestive tract specifically, and also will have a natural anti-inflammatory but a detoxification effect as well. Tip number 7 is to fix your leptin resistance. So I've got other videos. I won't dwell on that too much here, but check out my other videos on leptin resistance. That's really important for overall inflammation in your body and the stress response, and something called pregnenolone steal, and how your chemistry and your hormonal system is working internally. It's really important to fix that leptin signaling in terms of chronic inflammation. Tip number 8 is to decrease your EMF exposure in your environment. So yes, we are inundated with all of these signaling from EMF electronics and cell phone towers, and they're all around us at most times, and depending on how active you are on your devices, some people will definitely have more exposure to EMFs and will be impacted more negatively in terms of inflammation in the body, more so than others. So really important to ensure that you are protecting yourself. One of the things you can do is grounding and making sure that you're getting out in nature. Your bare feet on the earth is very important to bring in those negative electrons from the earth and bringing them up into your body, which has a very anti-inflammatory but a healing effect. And also exposing your abdomen to the sunlight, especially the early morning sunlight from sunrise till about 9 or 10 a.m. is really important. So those specific wavelengths of light from the sun are very healing to your microbiome. Your microbiome actually gives off of light, and it's important to be able to stimulate that with that natural sunlight on your abdomen. So do that throughout the year, even if it's cloud cover. Really important to help with your digestive health and to actually help to heal some of that inflammation happening as well. And tip number 9, of course, the mind-body connection in terms of ulcerative colitis. I want you to ask yourself, if you're suffering from this, what is it that is irritating and inflammatory in your life that you just cannot stomach? And this is so true, in all the patients that I've helped with ulcerative colitis, that connection between the stress, what's going on emotionally in terms of irritation and inflammation. I'm not talking about food here. I'm talking about what is it maybe that's emotionally taxing on you. Who is it? What is it? What situation that, and this could have happened 10 years ago, that you still have not been able to get over. This can be plaguing you in terms of what's going on with your gut and that inflammation in your colon. So please think about this. Do whatever you can to resolve those issues, and you will definitely be, 10 steps ahead and feeling so much better. So I hope that you learned something new today. Today we talked all about ulcerative colitis causes with 9 natural tips that I shared. I hope you've got some questions or comments, so please drop them in the comment section below. Be sure to share this video as well. Please give me a big thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, welcome in. I hope that you'll subscribe and also click that bell to turn on the notifications so you're always notified of my newest and latest uploads, which happens every single day of the week. And remember to take good care of your health and do it naturally. Thanks for watching today.